Hey up, welcome to the Cannon Hall Farm podcast. With us, the Nicholson brothers farmers, Rob and Dave.
We're two Yorkshire farmers who, along with our dad Roger, brother Rich and the rest of our family, have turned a farm with 2 sheds and a barn into an award-winning tourist attraction.
You've seen us on telly, live on Facebook, and now we've got our very own podcast.
Today, I am delighted to say we're going to be joined by Mum and Dad, the absolute main event, the heroes of our lifetime. So it's always a pleasure to have them on the sofa, metaphorically speaking, and talk to them about times gone by.
Coming up.
And you apparently had to tell one of them to stop having a wee in the row of potatoes.
I didn't do that, no.
You just let her do it then.
No, he said, for health and hygiene purposes, do you mind not tinkling on that potato? What did she tell you?
I think that's getting a bit too near the bone.
All right.
Yeah.
On today's episode, we're joined by our mum and dad. But before then, what have you been up to this week, Dave?
Well, same as you, Rob. We had the charity cricket match down at Cawthorne Cricket Club, and it was a beautiful, gorgeous day. Plenty of people came out to support, and we raised a nice amount of money for the Limbo Foundation as well.
Yeah, the Limbo Foundation is a charity that's set up to provide support for children born with limb differences and the families, and they do a fantastic job. The guy behind it all, I saw down at school when I dropped Nelly off on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
And he was buzzing. He'd got his tandem, and he said that you broke his tandem.
I did not break it. He told me to sit on it, right? And I said, and it was really low to the floor. I had to put my legs out like
He's
this.
accusing you of breaking his tandem.
No way. Well, he should have sat me on it then, shouldn't he?
He insisted you went on, didn't he?
I had to go around the pitch, and I had a bad leg because I'd injured myself.
Yeah.
It was just, it was one of those days. It was a good day, and we filmed it all as well for Our Great Yorkshire Life.
Yeah.
So you will be able to watch that later on when they've edited it and let that episode go.
I think if Carlsberg did episodes of My Great Yorkshire Life,
Oh yeah, it's got to be up
this
there.
would be it, because it's centred mainly around me scoring a century.
Oh God. Anyway, don't let that put you off watching it, right? We did have a great day. I mean, I can talk. Don't want to give it.
We
give
had a
it away.
joyous day.
Yeah, well, you
joyous
did.
day.
I was fielding nearly. It was near to the end of the 20 overs.
Yeah.
I was chasing a ball, and all of a sudden it was like somebody had shot me in the leg.
He set off running for a ball. All of a sudden, I was looking around for a sniper. I was scanning out tops at trees. I thought there's a shooter here in his life. And next thing, Davey's rolling about on the floor.
No, I didn't roll about. I just like pulled up. I started limping and I stopped, and there was a right pain in my quad.
So what did I do?
Oh, you tried to make a meal of it for cameras and picked me up by the wrong arm.
I helped him off.
By the wrong arm, so all the pressure went on my right leg that I'd injured.
All I say is I meant well.
You did mean well.
Yeah.
And then the lady says, right, we'll not
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny said, let's do another take with not so much drama, she said.
Yeah.
So then I walked off, and but I've got a bad bruise on my thigh. I can walk all right, I'm not limping, but if I do anything like run, or we're haltering that calf the other day and it were pulling, it just really hurts my leg.
Anyway, you had a significant injury.
I did.
But you've shook it off and you're back to 90% fitness now?
Oh no, I'm 65.
65. Anyway, you're back functioning
I
to
can
some
walk
degree.
around, I can drive, no problem, but running, I'm going to be a few weeks before I can run.
Yeah, we had a fantastic day. We were playing Cawthorne Cricket Club, rising and falling stars, a mixture of promising youngsters, and they were promising, weren't they?
Very good,
They played very well.
Yeah.
And some older guys like us who actually played better than we did. I think their young uns were really good and their old uns were better than us. So we were on a hiding to nothing from the start. Some of our best players didn't actually deliver, did they?
No, they didn't.
So, Dave, talk us through how you didn't deliver.
I didn't deliver. I'm not one of the best players. I don't play cricket.
You did well last time.
This is my second game of cricket ever.
No, he did well last time. I thought you were the man for the big occasion.
Yeah, but you know that next time I'm going to practice. I never even picked a bat up.
No.
You know, I'm going to practice hitting that ball.
I think it was the bowling, though, that was the shock to me.
Oh, they were
thought
fast.
In the nets, you were bowling well at me.
Yeah, I bowled once. I had when I started bowling. This is another dreadful thing. I had 4 no balls in a row. Right, absolute shocker. But then when I bowled a few off.
And we rallied round you, didn't we?
Yeah, they did.
We rallied round him as a teammate.
And then when I got there, when I started, I bowled. My pitch was bang on.
I gave you a third over, didn't you, on strength of your improvement?
Yeah, honestly, I were very close to getting him out.
3 overs, 0 for 48.
Not for 48.
No wickets, and you at a cost of 48 runs.
Well, that guy, he was very good. He hit 6, and he hit a 4, he hit a car.
Do you know how many we lost by?
50...
47.
No, we didn't. Because they're 156. Can't prove me that. And I don't believe that 48. That might be only 3 overs.
No. Your bowling were fine. You had a bad start, but you came back.
I did last time, though. But it's the pressure of the occasion.
It's the way you come back from an adversity that marks the man.
Yeah.
Because you could have just cried on floor, couldn't you, and said, take me off, take me off.
I could have pretended to injure myself.
Like you did a bit later.
No, I didn't really. No, it was a good day, and I'm glad I bowled, because when my bowling got good, it was all right.
Oh, no, it was good.
It was good.
So it was a mixture of people with a relevance to Cannon Hall Farm, family members. Unfortunately, Henry couldn't make it this time, and that's another thing that cost us dear.
Yeah, he had a poorly tummy.
Yeah. A dicky tummy.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that.
I had to say that.
So Henry's dicky tummy cost us big style, right? David's 4 no balls were a bad start, but he rallied round.
Yeah.
But then your batting. Talk us through your batting. What were you thinking?
Well, it was that fast, right? I totally missed the first ball completely. My second ball, I hit square on, and the bat was lovely. I felt no resistance, just knocked it to the left. Down there was a fielder there, unfortunately. And then he clean bowled me on the third ball, which was the pitch. If you look, he just took the bails off, though.
Yeah.
So his pitch was good.
Clip the bails.
Perhaps I should learn how to bat.
Tell the viewers how I batted.
I don't know, because I'd gone to the bar for all Rob's innings, and I was talking to old friends and new ones. So
you didn't watch?
No,
Well,
I watched 2.
How could you say then that I cost us the game?
Because Richard told me. Richard told me.
So you just.
No, Richard came over and says, "Look at Rob. We've all gone out there swinging, and Rob's just placing just playing defensive all the time."
I was playing myself in, but once I got in, I took 12 off 1 over.
Yeah, well, that's good. Perhaps we'll all play ourselves in next year.
We're going to rearrange some furniture now and get Mum and Dad in here. If you hear some hissing, don't think we've got an escape snake. It's only Mum's oxygen. Right, should we shift this settee?
Yep.
Right, without further ado, and backed by popular demand, we have the main event. Mum and Dad, live in the podcast studio, to answer questions from viewers, but also to talk about their early farming life at Cannon Hall Farm, the methods of farming that they practiced, and some of the animals that they used to keep. Mum and Dad, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So, Dad, tell us about what the farm was like when you first started farming here. What was it comprised of?
Well, it was a typical mixed farm. We'd a little bit of almost everything,
Right.
and that's how we set off on our little journey here.
So go on then, you had a small dairy herd.
Well, that came a little bit later. We didn't immediately go into a...
But there must have been the facilities for a dairy farm here, were there?
There was a cow house for 10 cows. That's the
Right.
what there was, which had some fancy yokes. They weren't tied up with a chain. They went into a yoke, and it was something that the estate had done, which were a bit different to what most people had.
Right.
But they weren't actually making milk when we took over. So we definitely had beef, sheep, growing wheat, barley, turnips,
Potato.
all potatoes were a big thing for us. Yeah, we had 8 to 10 acres of potatoes, which was a sort of a cash crop that we could.
Pigs.
Pigs, yeah, we'd had pigs. We had a bit of everything. So
Did you have turkeys then?
yes, we did turkeys right from the start. I've been doing that. Yeah.
And you had chickens as well?
I knew we went into laying pullets, didn't we? But not.
Didn't they
In
lay?
fact, well, it's where David lives now. We filled that with some.
Did you?
Yeah.
So what was your rotation, Dad? Did you follow grass with potatoes so that they got?
Well,
good
we
chance
did a
of success?
rotational. Yes, we did. We didn't just grow the same thing in the same field. It was a proper rotational process.
So barley, wheat, potatoes, turnips, grass for the livestock.
Grass was, I
So-
suppose, the major crop, really.
And that's what we were taught at college, wasn't it? You know, you always followed your grass with a crop of potatoes,
Yeah.
and then you went into probably 2 wheats, and then you had a barley, and back to grass, and then back to potatoes.
That sounds what we did.
And you had a bit of everything with livestock. Did you have sheep then as well?
Yeah, we did.
So-
We set off with. I mean, the first thing my father did, he went and bought some store sheep too.
That was his first mistake. Did they escape?
No,
All right.
no. They we put them down in. At that time, we rented the site. There's the park field that we've got goes right down to the water. Then there was another one at the side of it,
Right.
which belonged to Barnsley Council, and we rented that off them for a short period of
And
time.
I'm just thinking now, it's made me think about sheep escaping. Mum used to keep sheep, didn't you, at Halifax?
Yeah.
And they used to escape a lot.
Yes, they did.
What
yeah.
were they called?
The sheep.
Yeah, what were the names? I seem to remember you had names for them all.
Romy,
Romy, so that one got out a lot,
Blackie,
right?
that one black. Can't remember the rest.
All right.
But they did use, because we got a nickname at school. They called us Little Bo Peep.
Because your sheep were always escaped.
And my mother always wrote the note.
Yeah.
They can't come today because they're chasing sheep.
All right.
That Roman though, one because she roamed particularly, it's because she got
She had a big
a
Roman
Roman
nose.
nose to her
Right.
border last time.
We brought her here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
good.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a dowry with Mum, was there? That included
No,
a sheep or
couple
two.
of sheep.
Or was it a sheep that had to be kept to the end of its life as a pet?
Well, I suppose it would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did the chickens come from Halifax as well?
No, they didn't. No, they were.
Warrens.
We did get some Warrens, but with some Onegers or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
They were black.
Just for people understanding, Warrens were a breed of hen or a hybrid of hen
hybrid, yeah.
that were bred specifically to lay lots of eggs. So you invested in a load of these thinking, eggs are going to be our salvation. I'll be picking eggs, I'll be selling them, we'll be coining it in. But did it end that way?
No.
Everything was
Never.
going to be our salvation,
Yeah.
really. We had sows and we put them in crates and things like that, for pigging time.
Mm.
And well, they all did their part, but didn't break any records or
So
anything
I
like
suppose the upshot, Dad, was you tried endlessly to find a farming thing that would be our salvation.
that. I did, yes.
But the only thing that was our salvation was the viewers out there, them visiting the farm.
That's right, yes.
Safeguarded our future here.
Yeah,
And I suppose you had the tea room for, was it 10 years before we opened the farm?
something like that.
And that gave you a clue that actually diversifying, actually brought a little bit of cash into the business.
It did, yeah.
And helped pay the bills.
I think that guided us in the way that we wanted to go, really. Or we
Needed
had
to go. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
So
And-
tell us, Dad, about picking the spuds, right? Was that something that Mum got involved with? When it came to harvesting the potatoes?
No.
Did you have a machine? Did you just pick them?
Oh, well, no, the machine was a team of ladies from Redbrook.
But you'd had a lifter, though, to lift them out
Oh,
of the...
yes, it's very similar to that one
Yeah.
that's out there.
So
in
something
the,
came along and just disturbed them.
just underneath where the potatoes were
Yeah.
and spun it out.
Dad,
Yes.
Tell us about the team of ladies that you had from Redbrook. Redbrook being a village nearby.
Yes, it was. Yes.
What was it like managing that team of ladies?
What for a young man?
How old were you? 16.
I was 16 when I first started that.
And
yes.
you apparently had to tell one of them to stop having a wee in the row of potatoes.
I didn't do that. No.
You just let her do it then.
No, he said, for health and hygiene purposes, do you mind not tinkling on that potato? What did she tell you?
Oh, I think that's getting a bit too near the bone.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Did she tell you where to stick your spuds?
No, they were always good natured, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Fun, really.
Yes, yeah, they were good natured, but
They weren't in for taking long toilet breaks,
no,
were they?
they weren't in for. I suppose a young lad of 16 really telling him where to go and what not to do and whatever.
But they'd presumably be on piecework with it, Dad.
What's that?
Piecework. Was it so much for a bag that picked? Or?
No.
Or did you have an hourly rate?
So much a day.
Right.
Yeah. No, we didn't. Oh, counting that would have been a nightmare. Yeah. No, you didn't do any potato. Well, had we nearly finished potato picking when you arrived?
No, Richard did a bit.
I can remember carrying those. We used to have it's where David's bedroom is now.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember having potatoes down there.
Yeah.
In a straw kind of bund, straw bale bund kind of thing.
Yeah, probably, but I don't think
And then
we
straw on
needed-
top.
Yeah, they did have a covering, but
I think just to stop the frost, wasn't it?
yeah, they just to stop the frost. They were enclosed
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah, but you were talking about a potato pie, which is outside. Now that had to be covered in soil, and then put straw on it as well.
All right, so you reburied the potatoes.
You reburied them, yeah.
You dug them,
Yeah.
and then you reburied them,
Yeah.
and dug them up later.
Yeah, that. Well, when we were at Woodbridale, that's what we did, because we didn't have the buildings to.
Sounds like something a squirrel would do.
Yeah, well, we squirreled them away.
Yeah.
And were the potatoes just for home use, or did you sell a few?
Oh no, it was a few. We sold them all.
Sold them
nearly.
on his milk round.
My father used to go around Bank End
Okay.
shouting £28 a bob potato.
Can you do it now? Do it in the style of him.
Well, so that was £28
In weight. Yeah.
for a bob, which
For
was
a shilling.
5p now.
Right.
So
That sounds
what
quite good
what
value.
a bargain, eh?
Yeah.
And that's where you made your money. So
Well, I know 10 bob's 50p, so a bob
Yeah.
must be 5p.
Yeah,
Yeah, bob a job.
Bobby Joe.
Yeah, I'll do any job you want for 5p.
So that just shows how things have
Yeah.
changed.
Right, so we've got spuds, we've got wheat and barley. Tell us about, were you still threshing then, Dad, here?
The
Or did you have a combine?
the last day, the last harvest here was the first harvest we had, and it went in that metal Dutch barn, which is now the shop,
Yeah.
and that was our last threshing day.
So you did a threshing day at Cannon Hall Farm?
Yeah,
Right.
just the one.
Yeah?
Yeah,
And how did it go?
it went pretty well. Yeah.
So was the stack outside that building then?
No, it wasn't. No, it was within the Dutch barn.
Oh, it was all within it.
Yeah,
Oh,
within
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And were you involved in that, Mum?
No,
No, you didn't get involved?
That was before your mum's
Yeah.
time.
Oh, right. Right.
my first,
Oh, yeah, tell us about your first harvest. What happened to him?
they went to bed. It was a bagging combine. So you had to collect your corn in bags, and then you dropped them off into the field, and then you lifted them up again.
It
It was
was
ridiculous hard work.
And how heavy were the bags?
Well, they were 100 weight, weren't they?
no, more than 100 weight.
So is that 50 kilos?
Yeah, but that was minimum. That
I see.
you had different size bags. You had bags like that.
Did you have to lift them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And could you do it?
You'd have 16
Yeah.
stone.
16 stones,
in
that's
some
like
of them.
lifting David.
Yeah.
It is not. It's like lifting me and Rob's leg.
No, my arm maybe.
But no, I mean, your mum did a great job that time.
Oh, fair play.
That's when he knew I could stay.
Oh, was that the probationary period?
Job had been done then. No, we were married by that time.
There was no return.
And that's 2nd of October.
So you were still combining on the 2nd of October?
We hadn't
And it
started
was as
combining.
black as coal.
What, because of the bad weather?
Yeah, there was a black cloud of.
Just for the viewers' information, if you get a very late harvest, it's usually because August and September have been very wet. The rain falls on the corn, it collects in dust and debris.
Yeah.
So when the combine hits the field, it's just literally like the crop's on fire.
Yeah.
It's not good, that. I mean,
You've got the cloud of dust without the flame, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, so poor old mum was sat on combine,
Yeah.
covered in dust, lifting 16 stone bags of corn.
Well, I'm not
But
saying
you-
they
Yeah,
all were,
once
but
that,
some
you
were.
don't sit.
Don't you?
You walk.
Do you stand?
Oh. So you were absolutely living the dream.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, did you
I
feel?
loved it.
Did you feel like Jeremy Clarkson's wife?
No, I don't think
More
so.
like Jeremy Clarkson by the look of it.
I went round to Mum and Dad's house the other night, and we got, or Julie and I did, we
Yeah.
got your Clarkson's farm on, didn't we?
Yeah.
What did you think to it?
I've never seen it before. It looked to be aging him by the minute, actually.
Yeah.
He's not very well, is he? No.
Then what did you think to the programme? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was completely.
I like it.
I thought I might pick a few.
Tips up.
Yeah. But no, I won't swap him in a way that
Yeah.
I think it was very trying for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he'd all on onto that restaurant opening. And,
Yeah.
And obviously he's not quite mastered arable farming yet, has he?
No, not
in terms of
really.
making it pay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anyone easily can.
No.
So just a quick question, Dad. Did you grow wheat and barley? What
Yes.
was my mum bagging up?
She was bagging barley up at that time.
And that barley was to feed back to your
Yes.
your cattle and,
Yeah.
and your sheep. Did you roll it or grind it?
Yeah, we had a roller to roll it.
I remember having one of them was really noisy,
Yeah.
and it was right next to the house. So
Could you hear it?
you could hear it. Kind of, it made everything vibrate, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah.
We had a big motor going, which your dad had got.
Yeah.
It
he
was
a,
a redundant one at his works, and he negotiated for
Good
it
price.
to come over here, and I think it was well over his job, really.
He wouldn't bring that over on bus, would he?
No, it was a big motor. Yeah.
Right, Dad, we talked earlier. When you came to Cannonall Farm, there was no dairying taking place, but you were thinking you might fancy
Yes.
having a go.
Yeah, well, my dad had bought me this Frisian heifer, and so that set me in the idea that. So we put a milking machine in place.
So you moved from hand milking at Bank End
Yeah.
to machine milking at Cannonall Farm.
Yeah. And that was quite a bit easier.
Is it?
Yeah, but I mean, now it'll seem comical to think that you're packing 10 cows into that area just to milk, and that's actually our bedrooms now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was the cow house,
Yeah.
and the dairy was just opposite, which is your kitchen.
Yeah, I can remember the dairy.
And the
Yeah.
first Christmas, he bought me some red roses, and he put them in a bucket because he didn't want his mum to see. So he put them in a bucket in the cow house. And then he gave them me. They were frozen.
Why didn't you want your mum to see them?
I
Did you
don't
think
know.
you'd gone soft?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't me really.
But it obviously really was you. Otherwise you'd have done it.
Must have been deeply hidden.
Your romantic side was being suppressed by your
Oh,
grandma.
All these years.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Cannonall Farm podcast.
That was part 1 of our chat with Mum and Dad. Part 2's coming soon. Here's a clip.
Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
It's Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Right, hit us with it then.
An old cowpoke went riding out on dark and windy day. And that'll do.
If you'd like to learn more about our family history, we've actually got 3 books out.
Yes, we've got Living Our Best Lives, Springtime at Cannon Hall Farm, and Cannon Hall Farm, Past, Present and Future, available online or from the farm shop.
We've even got a pack of top trumps.
I know what Top Trumper is.
Yeah. It's me dad.
Until next time, I've been Farmer Rob.
I've been Farmer Dave.
Bye-bye.
I'm definitely going to practice at cricket for next year.
You're definitely going to practice trumping.